Buongiorno, everyone. It's a little bit weird to say hello to someone that was watching at you for 10 minutes, but I'm so glad to be here today. I'm so glad to be in Ukraine. I really like this place, and I'm so glad to be with so many people that is related to the video game industry. So many developers and so many business guys that are doing a great job to bring video games to everyone. But actually, it's kind of funny because it seems that there are two kinds. No, not only two, but there are a lot of kinds of people here, and everyone speaks a different language. And I'm not talking about English and Russian or Ukrainian. I mean some terms like user acquisition, monetization, cost per install, cons per click, freemium, premium, casual, hardcore, midcore, and they keep talking me about all these, but and I understand and I can talk about that as well, but it's strange because my brain doesn't work that way at all. My brain thinks about gameplay, game mechanics, learning curve, mm, playability, replayability, fun, beauty, beauty, fun, and I think that it's because there's a lot of kinds of people, and it's important to remember the reason why you are in the video game industry. The reason why you make games, or the reason why you sell games, or the reason why you talk about games. So, well, first of all, before I explain this a little bit further with the story of the guy that rides sharks, which has a lot to do with this, I'm gonna show the slide that is presenting myself. I'm Kevin CERDA. I'm from Barcelona, from Beauty Fan Games. We are an indie development company that does their own games. So we do the kind of games that we like to do. And there's a lot of people that tells me, "Hey, that's cool. So I mean, you make video games. I work on a chicken factory, for example, and I would like to do games as well. And it's great that you are doing this. So, but how do you do it? What can I do to do so?" And then I explain them the Shark Rider story, which is the following one. There's a beach and the sea, and a little kid that is sitting on the sand, watching the sea. And suddenly, from within the waves, not the whales, within the waves, a shark appears, and there's a guy sitting on top of the shark with sunglasses. There, all amazing guy. And the kid says, "Wow, wow, Shark Rider, you're awesome." I didn't want to say awesome. Shark Rider, you're awesome. You are riding a shark, and that's great. And I just want to be like you. What do I have to do to be like you? And the shark rider stares at the kid and says, "Just ride a shark." So that's it. That's what we do. We wanted to do video games. We wanted to do cool video games that we ourselves enjoyed, and that's what we do. We are riding sharks right now. So Video Fan Games, we have these two games. One of them is Nihilumbra, that you've probably seen downstairs. And the other one is not ready yet. It will be ready more or less in 1 year because it's something really big that we're working on. And it's gonna be called Mega Magic, probably, unless someone registers the name before us because we haven't did it already. Please don't do it. And and they are really big games. I mean, we spend a lot of time doing this, but how do we do so? Because you will need money to live while you are making games. Well, in our case, we have a secret strategy that allow us to develop games like this. Allow us to be 1 year working on the same project without needing to make smaller projects in between to earn money. So, how do we do it? The answer is poker. Poker. We got a guy that plays poker. I think that it's a really important role in the video game industry, and all teams should have one. The poker guy is really important to raise the funding. I mean, that guy was a pro. He played in Las Vegas. He played in a lot of tournaments. Actually, he doesn't like at all that I explained this, but he's not here. And well, with when we started our company, or when we started doing games, it wasn't even a company. We were just a bunch of guys and one girl, which is strange, doing games. And this guy said, I think that we're doing something good here, but maybe if we had, an office and time schedule and salaries and computers and everything only one place, things will go better and faster. And I said, yeah, but who's gonna pay for that? And he said, me. And then I knew that he was a poker player. So I have to. I always love to explain this because I think that it's nothing to be ashamed of. We had this money, and instead of using it to do one small project and see how it worked, we decided to invest a whole year and a lot of money into Nihilumbra. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about Nihilumbra. I don't want to talk a lot about the game because I think that it will be more interesting for you to know what happened after we released the game. But just in case you haven't seen it, it is downstairs on the indie showcase. Well, not anymore because this is the last day. But just in case you don't know the game, I'm gonna show you the trailer. Hold on, I have to drag this to the right. Double click. Yeah. Now look for the play button. Okay, I'll leave you the trailer.
You were born from the void, but it is coming to get you. The void must be won. You cannot escape from it. Learning new colors, traveling around the world. It makes you grow up. It makes you want to live. Being chased, condemning the world you leave behind. It makes you feel terribly guilty. Soon nowhere will be safe. It will never stop. It will never die.
I always like to finish the trailers with a like everyone. So this is the game. I really loved how it sounds here. It was really deep. You were being chased by the void. And well, this is the trailer for the Mac, Linux, and Windows version of the game because it was released on iOS 1 year ago, and now we have finally finished the PC version, which has a lot of improvements, and I'm gonna explain it a little bit just because I think that it's relevant to what what I want to explain. So let's see, first of all, how it went. How were the reviews? How people reacted to the game, to the iOS version when it came out. We had this, well, a lot of stuff happened, but I chose to pick these three things to represent it. It was chosen by Apple's as one of Apple's best games of 2012, which was not only a great honor, but it was also a great help to boost the sales. We had an 86 on the Metascore, which is a really great score, and it also helped us a lot to have more respect to the press and all that. And the last one is not, I don't know, it has no big name, but I think that it's really important to show the reviews of the users, because after all, we did the game for them. So the people that played the game liked it, and the average rate that we have on the Apple Store is 5 stars, which it means a lot to us as well. And well, when we started seeing all this, we thought, this is going great. I mean, a lot of stuff is happening. We are winning prizes. People is loving the game. The reviews are great. We didn't expect that at all. We expected it to fail because we thought that the game sucked. Because when you are doing a game, you become crazy, and you never know how good it is or how bad it is. So, but we didn't expect this. And we saw this. We thought that we were gonna become instant rich. We thought that we could already order a Mercedes because with all these great reviews, sales were gonna be really damn high, and we were gonna win a lot of money. But it wasn't like that. Let's talk about numbers. This slide has a lot of text. You only have to read the language that you like. You don't need to read both of them. We sold 70,000 units of the game during the first year. It wasn't like the normal curve of selling in the iOS market. I mean, usually on the Apple Store you sell a lot in the beginning and then everything drops and disappears. But in our case, we didn't have a really huge peak at the beginning, but the sales were somehow stable, and every time they went down, they rise for some reason. So it had a really different way of selling that other games. Maybe because it was a really different game as well. Then, after 1 year, to celebrate the anniversary of the game, we decided to do a free app a day promotion and put the game for free for 4 days. And that's what happened. We had 700,000 downloads in just 4 days. I mean, 10 times more downloads than in just 1 year. This number really shows that people with iPhones don't really want to pay for the games. They think that $2.99 it's a really huge obstacle to get a game, because once you remove it, 700,000 people download it in 4 games. So it's amazing to see this difference when we're talking about a product that costs the same as a beer, more or less. So we didn't have no in-app purchases in the game. So all these 700,000 downloads that we had didn't represent any money back to us, because the people who bought the game, who downloaded the game for free, couldn't just spend anything at all because they had not the option. And this means that the promotion was helpful to make the game more known, but nothing else, which is pity, because we are on the same exact situation that we were when we released the game 1 year ago. So all the money that we have earned with Nihilumbra has already been spent developing the next game, and right now we needed something to have a little bit more money and keep developing, and that's where the PC version came out. The last hope. We were working 1 year on this PC version because we wanted it to be really good. We wanted to be the game that Nihilumbra would have been if it was a PC game from the very beginning. So we made a lot of additions. We remastered this whole soundtrack. We improved the visuals of the game. We added some weather effects. We had an art gallery. We tried to include mini games with Watch a Disaster, and then they were removed because it was Nihilumbra is a game that doesn't allow more content. It's a really close story, and adding mini games to that just felt so weird and so wrong that we had to took them away. But what happened with the PC version? The problem with the PC version is that it was difficult to sell. You cannot just, well, you can put your game for free on your site, or you can try to sell your game on your site, but piracy on PC it's a really big problem. A lot of people will download your game and they won't pay. So we needed to be somewhere like in Steam or something like that to sell, to have some revenue back. So we tried to contact Steam, we tried to get there, and we found ourselves with Greenlight. Are you familiarized with Greenlight? Do you know what it is? In case some of you don't know it, Greenlight is like a process that you have to pass if you want to get your game listed into Steam. That is one of the biggest, it's like the biggest and normost store on PC. It represents like 90% of the PC sales revenue, so being there was a must. We put our game into Steam Greenlight, and we needed votes from people to complete this process and get our game onto Steam. So we had to start fighting for votes. And I chose the word fighting because it was really hard. It was a fight, a constant fight. We had to write a lot of press notes. We had to make the browser demo of the game. This Steam Gift stuff is a website where you can just give away one game and ask people to vote you in return, but they will do it just if they want, because there's no way to track who has voted you and who not. We contact YouTubers and tell them that they should do a gameplay video of Nihilumbra. Some of them decided to do it, some of them didn't answer. And the sad thing about this is that while we were doing all this, we couldn't be developing, and we had to stop the development of the next game. Some of us had to stop their work to do all this process that will only end up with our game being on a shop. I mean, we had to do all this before even starting to sell the game. But gladly, I can say that we did it. We had enough votes, and we managed to get on green light. And actually, the game will be available on Steam right now, today. They emailed me where I was here the other day in the showcase, and they told me that the day 25 it will be available. So if you want to get it on Steam, it's possible right now. Thanks. That was hard. And what will we do in the future with Nihilumbra? Because I cannot talk about Mega Magic yet. I can't spoil it. We want to port it to more platforms. Right now, we've talked with Nintendo, and the Wii U version is almost ready. We're working on it. Actually, Marcos is working on it. Say hi. And he's doing a great job, and it will be ready really soon. So Nihilumbra will be available on mobiles, PC, and consoles, which is great to do that with your first professional game. Then we want to start working on the Android version that will allow us to port the game to GameStick, for example, or maybe Ouya, or who knows, because there are a lot of devices that use Android, and we can be able to access to them. The fact is that a lot of people told us that, like they told me before, that they wanted to play Nihilumbra and they couldn't because it was only on iOS. They didn't have an iPhone, or they didn't have an iPad. So we thought that we should do something. If someone wants to play Nihilumbra, they have to do it. It would be really sad if they couldn't. So we were able to do all these portings really fast because of the Unity engine that allow us to port the game easily to other platforms. I mean, it was a pain in the ass to do a 2D game with Unity because we had to build an engine on top of an engine. And right now we're doing the same stuff again because we are doing an isometric 2D game on top of Unity. So we never learn. But now that the game is finished, it's easy to port it. And, well, it seems like it's over, but I want to make like a final reflection. The purpose of this speech was to explain what happened to us, because I started saying that you should ride on sharks, and that sounded so cool, and I wanted to show you that we were riding sharks, but actually it's hard and it's complicated, and you never know if you're gonna fall into the water and the shark is gonna eat you alive. Riding sharks is a way of life. You have to choose it, but you have to know the reason why you're making video games. We make video games because we are gamers, we love video games, we love them as a way of expression. We want to communicate stuff. We want to share stories and experiences with people. We are this kind of hippie, crazy developer guys. And we do not care about money, but we need money for living. That is something that all indies say. It would be great if we were rich, but it doesn't matter as long as we are able to survive. So, should I recommend everyone to ride sharks? No, I don't recommend everyone to ride sharks. It's not a choice. If you feel that you have to do it, you'll know it. You'll do it. It's unavoidable. So just for the people that decides to ride on sharks and decides to do this, even when I said that it wasn't a decision, for the people that do all this stuff, remember that it's dangerous and you have to be always prepared. But for every time you fail, you also learn. And they are stalking me from here. What's happening? Ah, you were coming close, and I thought that. All right. So that's my Twitter. That's my email. If you wanna ask me something, you can write me there. And if you wanna ask me something right now, you can have the microphone and go on.
Do you have some questions?
Thanks.
Okay, I have questions for you. You have a very mysterious voice in your game. Who made it?
Do you know Dragon Ball? Do you know when Goku merged with Vegeta? Yes, you know
Yes.
that part.
Yes.
How is that called? Gogeta, isn't it? Half Goku,
Yeah.
half Vegeta. With earrings. All right. So that guy.
Okay.
No, really, we contacted a guy called Mr. Gogeta that had made some dubbing for video games. He dubbed some a game called Orion. It's a game about dinosaurs, and he was the guy screaming double kill, headshot, and this kind of stuff. And he had this really deep voice, and we thought that he will do a great job on Nihilumbra. So we contacted him. He was really pleased to collaborate with the project, and he did a great job. Actually, I love the voices. But when we asked him, what name should we write on the credits? Because you said that you were named Mr. Gogeta, and we don't know your real name. And he said, no, Mr. Gogeta is fine. So on the credits, he appears as Mr. Gogeta.
Oh, thank you. Some questions? Yes.
When you told, sorry, when you said that on the 4-day free app a day, right, thing you had 700,000 downloads of your app.
Mhm.
So I hear these numbers a lot. Always when great games go free, that's like, oh my God, our downloads exploded. But do you have actually some metrics like, do you know how much of these people actually played it or just downloaded like grab for free?
It's something that we should have done, but we
but you
didn't.
didn't.
We,
Okay.
we have no way to know how much of these people, how many of these people played the game. But we did notice a huge amount of emails of people writing us. I mean, the number of emails that we receive from people that has played the game or the number of reviews increased drastically. So I guess that a lot of people is at least giving it a try.
Hi, is Nihilumbra the type of game that couldn't have a second part? I mean, it's full story, so second part will be like a really shitty game. Everyone will tell you, wow, you did that. You ruined all this story.
I'm so glad you asked that. Because when I designed Nihilumbra and I wrote the story, I did think about a second part. But it wouldn't be just the void comes again, you have to run again from it, and it's the same story, but for a sequel again, and 5 new colors, and that's it. No. I was thinking about something a little bit more crazier, like Nihilaltra. That could be a spaceship fighting game with colors. But that's confidential, and I cannot talk about it. But maybe there'll be a sequel. Right now we are not working on a sequel, and we are not planning to do a sequel in the future. But if we do, it will rock. It won't be just the same game again with different colors or different levels. I promise.
Questions? No questions?
Nobody else? I'm saying the most funny stuff on the question. So if
So you can find Kevin at Indie Price Show. And thanks to your amazing lectures.
Are you going, guys, to Amsterdam to Casual Connect?
I definitely want to go, but I'm not sure if I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question,
My pleasure.
for lecture.